So what's going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're going to be talking about some, not teasers, but I guess clues that we have towards what we could be seeing in Treyarch's next game for zombies in 2024. There is also multiplayer information as well, and well, you're going to see as we get further on into the video. But as you know, right now we still have quite a wait to go for Treyarch's next game in 2024. They would have already begun development. In fact, they would have started it towards the end of their previous game, Black Ops Cold War. That's always how Call of Duty games work. As soon as one's finished and it's put out for release, they begin working on the next one pretty much straight away. You have half of the team working on DLC for that game, but then the other half of the team, like the campaign developers and some multiplayer, and in Treyarch's case, zombies developers, working on the next project. So as soon as the studios drop their COD game, for example with Black Ops Cold War, when that came out in 2020 in November, I think it was that month, Treyarch would have then started working on their next game, which will come out in a couple of years. So right now, their next game is about 2 years down the line already. If it came out in November of 2020, we are now in December of 2022. That's 2 years already, and it's been 1 year since that game fully finished, since its DLC cycle came to an end. Yes, we did have some Treyarch devs work on Vanguard Zombies, but it wasn't that many, and I'm pretty sure it was mostly multiplayer developers working on Vanguard Zombies, not actual Zombies devs. So the way things are going right now, if the next game isn't due to come out until 2024, and it's already roughly 2 years down the line in the works, it's potentially going to have a 3 to 4 year development time, which for a Call of Duty game is something we haven't seen before. Usually COD games get 2 years or 3 years. It used to be 2 years back in the day. In more recent times, studios have had 3 years to develop COD games. But now if Treyarch's next title is getting 3 to 4 years, it leaves me super interested to see what the product is going to be like with a development time like that. It makes me wonder about the amount of content that we're going to be getting on day one. Could we see 4 zombies maps like we did on Black Ops 4, maybe 5, maybe a bit less, 3? Will we see the quality of them improve as well because of the extra development time? There are a lot of questions, and since we are still 2 years away yet, we don't really know anything, no official information anyway. We have a few leaks here and there, but we do know a couple of things because over on Treyarch's website, they have some job listings, and within there, of course, in the job descriptions, they have to describe in a very, I guess, secretive way what these job descriptions are going to involve. And within this, we do kind of get an idea of some of the things we could be seeing within their next game. There are 4 different listings I want to show you. The first one is for a senior level designer for Warzone at Treyarch, but take a look at the job description where they say, do you walk into a space and immediately imagine how it would play in a video game? Do you find yourself thinking of ways to make the space better? How could you improve it to make it an engaging player experience? So do we. Treyarch is looking for a talented level designer to join our Warzone team. As a senior level designer, you will work on production content for Call of Duty Warzone, Outbreak, and other large map experiences. If you're excited about building realistic, well-crafted maps that will be enjoyed by millions of Call of Duty fans across the world, then come join our team. So that tells us that within Treyarch's next game, we are getting Outbreak. If they're mentioning it here, they're no longer doing work for Outbreak and Black Ops Cold War. We don't have Outbreak in any other game besides from that one, which must mean if they're advertising for someone to come in and work on Outbreak content, then Outbreak is returning in COD 2024 for zombies, which really isn't too surprising anyway. Whether you loved or hated that mode, it was extremely popular. In fact, if we go all the way back and listen to what Treyarch said about Outbreak during that time, they told us that since Outbreak was introduced, more players played Black Ops Cold War than ever before.
The start of Season 2 introduced players to Outbreak, and the reaction has been amazing. In fact, since its introduction, more people have played Black Ops Cold War Zombies than ever before, including at launch.
So even on day one when Cold War Zombies released, and we had, I'm having a brain fart here, the first map, D-Machine, when Outbreak released later on, more people actually played Zombies for the Outbreak release than they did play Zombies for its initial release on day one, for the round-based map D-Machine. So more people played Outbreak than they did D-Machine, which is surprising. Normally, and this goes for any game really, you have the most players on day one when it's fresh, and then it dwindles out over time. But for Zombies on Black Ops Cold War, more players played Outbreak when that released than they did round-based zombies. Now, how that went on over time, I don't know for Season 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. and the other DLC maps, Mauer and Forsaken. Whether Outbreak was more popular than them, I don't know. But what this does tell us is that Outbreak, whether you believe it or not, we don't have the numbers, but Treyarch told us that it was extremely successful. So the fact that Outbreak is returning in 2024 isn't really a surprise. For me personally, I didn't love the mode, but it was quite different to anything we'd seen in Zombies before, and I do also think what we saw in Cold War for Outbreak is a good building block for a more improved version that we could be getting later on. I've made quite a few videos already on how I think Outbreak could be made better. Treyarch got a lot of feedback on it during Cold War's time, so hopefully, especially with the 3 to 4 year development time, when Outbreak does come back, I think it might be a hell of a lot better. And one idea that I had, and a lot of people also said as well, but I would love to see Transit return in COD 2024, but as an Outbreak map. We all know the Outbreak maps are big. Transit was a big round-based zombies map, perhaps too big for round-based zombies, which might be one of the reasons why it didn't quite work out, but because of that, I think it might be perfect for an Outbreak map. But let's just take a look at a few other openings as well. They're also looking for a senior level designer for zombies. The job description is, your group of survivors huddles in a small town gas station garage, stealing yourselves from what may be your last stand. As undead breach makeshift barriers, guns bark, adrenaline pumps, and corpses fall. As you fight your way out onto the streets, you see a strange structure in the distance. The ground at its base seems to be moving as a horde appears on the horizon. This, you realise, is just the beginning. If this has your imagination churning and you want to help us craft these kind of experiences for our players, come join the Zombies level design team. So although this doesn't really seem like much, I do kind of like the job description that Treyarch have put here, the thing they want developers to imagine, and actually what they've wrote about a group of survivors huddling in a small town's gas station, fighting off against the undead as they breach makeshift barriers, and then as you leave the gas station and you go onto the street, in the distance you see a strange structure, and at the base of that structure you see a horde of zombies moving towards you on the horizon. That to me sounds like it could be a hell of a good zombies map. I tried to think, could that be a similar description to a zombies map that we already have, but I don't think so. We don't really have a zombies map that takes place in a gas station. I guess there's Transit and the one there. And when Treyarch described the strange structure in the distance, although they may not be talking about a zombies map that they're currently making, that does get me excited because when I think of strange structures in zombies, I think about the older days, the Black Ops 1, BO2 and the World at War days, when we just had the crazier looking things in zombies. It almost makes me think of like some kind of alien movie where you walk out of a gas station into the mist and the fog, and then in the distance you just see a strange looking structure that doesn't seem human. You can't quite tell what it is. That for some reason just gets me excited, even though this might not be a zombies map. Imagine if it was though. Imagine if Treyarch were describing something they were making. There's a couple more though. They're also looking for a senior game designer for zombies. The description says, heed the call of the never-ending hordes of the undead. Channel your passion to create the next Call of Duty Zombies experience. As Treyarch's senior level game designer, working on our zombies mode, together we will turn nightmarish, adrenaline-fueled dreams into reality. That one not quite as exciting, and then they're also looking for a lead zombies gameplay engineer, where they say in this role you'll be responsible for managing the technical vision and strategy for the zombies content in our games. The ideal candidate will be able to communicate this vision effectively to the zombies engineering team, as well as across other groups such as the animation and design teams to bring innovative zombies characters and game features to life. What is interesting is they talk about zombies characters and game features. We don't really have characters as such in zombies anymore, and what I mean by that is actual playable characters. Now we have operators, whereas before we used to have Primus, Ultimus, or celebrity cast of characters, or the transit crew. Now we don't. Now we play as operators. We do still have characters in zombies, just unplayable ones such as Kravchenko or even Samantha Richtofen, although at this point not a set cast. I did think in here when they mentioned zombies characters, could there be the possibility of bringing set cast back to zombies? I just don't think so, because of how much money operators bring in now. I think that's the main reason why we won't see a set cast in zombies again. I can wish, but those are the 4 job descriptions we have. Quite interesting, especially the first one, because it confirms to us that Outbreak will return in COD 2024. I'd definitely like to know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Are you excited? Aren't you? Would you rather than focus on other things, or would you like to see what Outbreak might be like with a longer development time and now that they've got a base to eat? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like rating if you've enjoyed the video today. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.